Hey there, and welcome back to Utility Sports. We have now figured out what the NBA Finals matchup is going to be. Before we jump into the video, hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy NBA content. We produce a lot of it, NBA draft related, playoffs, free agency, everything you can think of NBA related, we cover. Now, looking at this Finals matchup, this is going to be a great battle of a terrific offense versus a terrific defense. And if you look at this holistically, it really doesn't get much better than this. You look at Steph Curry and the Warriors, Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. There's a lot to break down in this series. And first and foremost, you go and look at the number one offense in terms of offensive rating with the Golden State Warriors taking on the number two, defensive rated team in the Celtics. Now, these ratings are according to the playoffs and what we've seen so far. So that's kind of the matchup we have right now. Golden State is definitely facing a different team than what they saw in Dallas. I think that's pretty clear and obvious when you look at it from the perspective of, Boston is much better defensively than what Dallas had to present. However, Dallas was much improved from what we had seen, during the early part of the season, but in the playoffs, they turned up a little bit. Looking at the Boston Celtics, though, they are so good defensively, really good on their rotations, help side. There's a lot to like about what they bring to the table. And honestly, you have the reigning defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown's another really good defender. So I'm looking at it from that perspective of they got some nice perimeter defenders to match up with some of the guard play of the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, all on that perimeter. Very, very deadly. And once they get into a rhythm, it's tough to stop that moving train. I don't think there's any secret there. And I'm kind of looking at this now, really who has the edge and some of the big X factors in this one. When you look at the Boston Celtics, they have much better interior defense than what Dallas had provided. Obviously, you're going up against guys like Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell earlier, and now you're running into, a defensive stalwart and Robert Williams, a guy that does not get enough credit around the league for how good he is defensively. I think that's really clear to me. You're not going to have as many free lanes to the rim. And honestly, I think you're going up against a team that, shows a lot of intensity on the defensive end of the floor with the Boston Celtics. Obviously, the Celtics are in a really good position here. They beat a very good Bucks team, beat a very, very good Heat team. The Miami Heat, though, were not the team offensively that the Golden State Warriors are. Golden State is going to give the Miami Heat defense a lot of fits. And I think there's only one team that has a winning record against Steve Kerr, and that is the Boston Celtics. So that is kind of an interesting tidbit heading into this finals matchup. Just considering there's a lot on the line here. There's a lot of star power. Seeing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown finally get over the hump and make it to the finals is a big deal. Considering what they've gone through, some of the heartbreak that they've had, Kyrie Irving, that whole situation, they finally made it. They got to the big dance. They got to the big game, which is really, really awesome for them. Finally, they are able to get into that position. And then the Golden State Warriors, a team that people were expecting to bounce back in a big way this season, and they ultimately did. So looking at this finals matchup, Andrew Wiggins is going to have to play great. You're going to have to apply a lot of pressure offensively, and a lot of that focus is going to be funneled to Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole. But the guy that's got to really step up in a big way in terms of an offensive output and a scoring output to me is Andrew Wiggins, and I look at him as that big X factor in the series. Can he be consistent from three like he had been? Is he a guy that's going to be aggressive and getting to the rim, playmaking for others? I think that's a big part of it. I'm interested to watch, Kevon Looney, Robert Williams, Al Horford, a lot of the big play as well. I think that's pretty crucial in this series. But when you look at these two teams, this is the perfect test of great offense versus great team defense. And as a whole, it's going to be a tough grit and grind series, in my opinion. Now, I do want to make a finals prediction. I want to make the finals MVP. And when I look at these two teams matching up, I think that I think that Golden State offers a really, really tough challenge, trying to defend all the guys that could put the ball in the hoop. I mean, you have Andrew Wiggins coming at you. Jordan Poole is another guy that's really important in this series. Steph Curry is going to elevate his game. And, the Golden State Warriors have been here before. This Boston Celtics team is, they've played in a lot of big moments in their career, but none as bright as this. The Golden State Warriors are in a really good position here in terms of, a lot of experience on this roster still. They've kind of reinvented themselves a little bit. And obviously there's big names here. So Draymond Green is going to play a crucial role in this series. You have some really good defensive talent in this series. Obviously, I had alluded earlier to Marcus Smart. Draymond Green's a terrific help side defender, very, very smart in terms of what he brings on that end of the floor, a lot of intensity. And, Jason Tatum's going to have to play like a superstar. He's going to have to be big in all of these games for sure, shooting efficiently. And he's really going to have to be a catalyst for this offense. I think when you're going up against the Golden State Warriors, you have to be that catalyst. You have to be that guy that can really, drive the bus. If you're going to say that he's improved so much as a playmaker in his career, especially this postseason, I've really seen it on full display. This guy's ability now to make passes he was not making a couple of years ago. And he's able to do that, which this is what those great players do. They continue to evolve their game. Jason Tatum's always been a really good scorer. I think that's been pretty clear and obvious, been able to shoot the three ball, been able to get to the rim, true 3-level scorer. What was really, what he really needed to address in his game was when he's garnering this much attention, what is he able to do when he's seeking all these double teams and stuff? He's making the right passes. This is what stars do. They adapt to the defenses that they see coming at them. So when he's getting blitzed, making that correct read, hitting the open shooter, and that's going to be a crucial part in this series. And, for Golden State, once again, they're going to have to buckle down defensively. They're not as good as Boston as a defensive unit. Part of that being, they don't have quite the perimeter defenders that Boston can throw at you. However, they're going to be able to be a high octane offense, high output offense. But if that's not really clicking, the way that they've been able to click this postseason, especially against Dallas. So what's going to happen then? Is that going to lead to, some bad defense then if your offense isn't clicking on all cylinders, all the time? Who knows? Who really knows? And I think that's where Boston can really take advantage. If they can consistently play great defense and, frustrate Golden State. Golden State defensively is not as good as Boston, clearly. I think that's pretty obvious. But actually getting into the actual finals prediction myself, I do see this game or this series going to 7 games. I see this as a 7-game series, in my opinion. I really do. Looking at, Boston just came off of a, very, very big win here. I think Golden State is also, in a position where, they're a little more rested. And I think that it's going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. I think these games are going to be a lot closer than we saw with the Miami and Boston series, where it'd be blowout here, blowout there. And it was just kind of a weird deal how that was going. But I definitely see this going to the 7 games, and I see Steph Curry elevating in that game 7 and pushing the Warriors to win the finals. I do believe that. Obviously you'd love to see Boston be able to win one as well, but I just think Golden State's experience, how they match up offensively, it's very tough to stop this unit as a whole. I think when they get going, it's a very, very tough unit to defend night in, night out, and they're just so consistent shooting the ball. And especially if Andrew Wiggins is on, who's the big X factor in this series, in my opinion, if he is consistently, playing at the level he should be every single night of this series, or at least close to it, that's a tough out. That's a really tough out because they have so many different options to score the ball. With Boston, it's a little more predictable in terms of offensive output and where it's coming from. I do believe that. However, once again, defensively, they are a terrific team. But when I look at what Golden State can throw at you offensively with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, all of those guys are very, very talented scorers in their own right. They can all shoot the ball. And honestly, it's going to be a 3-point barrage if Boston's not careful. What's really nice is, they're not going to give up a ton in the interior. Golden State doesn't attack the rim as well as Miami was doing with Jimmy Butler. However, they can shoot the lights out of the ball, and that's what they've, what's really been their bread and butter throughout their entire, dynasty that they've had with Steph Curry. So looking at it from that perspective, I do have the Golden State Warriors winning in 7 games. Steph Curry is going to be my finals MVP. I don't think that should be controversial. However, I think Boston provides a very tough matchup, especially defensively. Marcus Smart's going to have a terrific series as well. He's going to have to guard, all of these different guards on the perimeter, and it's going to take a lot to slow down this Golden State offense. And that's why I think it gets pushed to a 7 games. So that is my prediction. Golden State Warriors are winning the finals, and then my finals MVP is Steph Curry. Thanks again for stopping by, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Also, please leave a like on today's video if you did enjoy the content. Really enjoyed that, making these kind of videos for you. So let me know in the comment section below how many games and who you have winning the series. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the very next one.